everyone, I am back again. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. I am now working to share this live, so I'm gonna try to send it over. Is this the one that I think this is not the one. Let me, while I let you guys file on in, I'm going to be sending this live on over. So for those of you who don't know, I'm just here to answer you guys' questions, but not just any of your questions. I'm going to be answering questions from the members of my Healthy Hair Hub. So Healthy Hair Hub, what's that? That is my text group. So some of you may be members of my text group, and if you're not, you can easily join my text group for free if you just text me 917-810-3423. Again, that number is 917-810-3423. And by texting that number, you can join my Healthy Hair Hub. What's the point of joining the Healthy Hair Hub? My Healthy Hair Hub, I give you guys my best hair tips, provide you with hair inspiration, as well as give you exclusive deals and discounts. And right now, I am going over the questions that you have all texted me for this Q&A. So now that I see that we are live, I'm going to get the shareable link and I'm going to text it over. So if any of you are live from my Healthy Hair Hub, definitely let me know in the chat. So let me tell everybody now. Hey everyone. I'm really drowsy. I'm so sorry. It's a long day. Hey everyone. I am now live on YouTube. You can join me here. Okay, here's the link. Paste. Everyone, join me here. You can now join me here and catch me answering your questions. How's everyone doing? How is everyone? All right, so now. All right, now we can get into the questions. You all texted me the questions, and now I'm going to go over them. I wrote them down first, so I didn't have to keep going into my phone because I'm recording on my phone, so that's going to be kind of inconvenient if I'm going back and forth through the questions on my phone, right? All right. I'm a little drowsy. Forgive my puffy eyes. I did take a little bit of a nap right before this moment. Today was a long day, right? All right. So I'm going to go with a question asked by member Kaya. And Kaya says, why am I having breakage at the roots? That's our first question. Breakage at the roots can be caused by a number of things, but very often it's caused by the wrong amount of retwists for your hair type. So some people may be retwisting their hair every month, every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks, some people every 2 weeks, like myself. I haven't been retwisting my hair every 2 weeks as of late, but generally speaking, I retwist every 2 weeks, and that works for me. Retwisting every 2 weeks works for me. When I wait too long for a retwist, I'll experience breakage. So if the proper amount of retwists for you is 4 weeks, yet you are retwisting every 8 weeks, you may notice breakage at the roots. Or if, again, the proper amount of retwist for you is 4 weeks, but you're going every 2 weeks, you may experience breakage. So again, when you are retwisting your hair at a rate that is not aligned with your hair, you may experience breakage at the roots. So very often we're advised, do not retwist too often. I like to stay away from that type of advice because really our retwist should be aligned with our hair type. So that does not necessarily mean that you should retwist less often. It could mean you should retwist more often. You have to find the sweet spot for you. So very often that could be the cause of breakage at the roots, but not always. There could be other causes of breakage at the roots. One cause of breakage at the roots is too tight styles. If you're styling your hair tightly too often, you could experience breakage at the roots, especially if you're not taking breaks in between styles. Oftentimes people will only go to their loctician for their maintenance and not do any maintenance themselves at all. So by that I mean you'll go to your loctician, you'll get your style put in, right? And you'll keep that style in until your next loctician visit. And then you'll get a new style put in after that visit or at that visit. And that's problematic because you're not giving your hair any sort of break. You're going from high tension styles right to another high tension style. That can cause breakage at the root, and we don't want that. We don't want that. Give your hair a break in between styles. That could help you reduce breakage at the root. So these are external causes of breakage at the roots, but the breakage could also be caused by from internal health concerns, right? Make sure that you guys are up on your physicals so you know what types of issues you could be dealing with as far as oh boy, it didn't send. Make sure that you are up on your physicals so you guys can be privy to your standing when it comes to any mineral deficiencies or any sort of usually that's like the kicker right there, mineral deficiencies. Make sure you're staying hydrated from the inside out, because hydration is not just, you know, misting your hair with the rose water moisturizer. No, it's also the water that you consume. Speaking of consuming water, all right, so that was Kaya's first question. I hope I answered that well for you. Her next question is how often to apply horsetail oil. Now, for me, what's mandatory is to apply the horsetail oil after washes. So in general, when it comes to applying oils, my best tips, my best practices for applying hair oils is to do it after you wash it. Now, why is that? Excuse me. When you wash your hair, that's pretty much the only time you are actually letting your hair completely be saturated. Completely. When we mist our hair, that's great, yes, but the water does not get to the core of the lock easily from just simply misting it. So when we wash our hair gets fully saturated, and that's pretty much the only time our hair experiences fully being saturated, right? So that means after we wash our hair or during our washes, that's the only time that our hair truly experiences being fully hydrated. So at that point, it's a really important and crucial time to oil your hair to seal in that moisture, right? So when we seal in the moisture after washing our hair, that is when we're able to fully seal in the moisture of most of our strands, versus when we mist our hair and then oil it, we're not sealing in the moisture throughout the entire lock, because again, the entire lock did not experience that moisture that we just applied with the rose water, because again, we're not a hair mister can't get all the way into our locks. It's just not gonna happen. Washing our hair is the only time that our hair, or rinsing our hair, like actually letting water saturate our hair, is the only time that our hair is gonna fully experience deep hydration from water, right? So again, after washes is a really crucial time to apply your hair growth oils or your oils in general to make sure that your hair is make sure that you're sealing in the moisture. So that's a great time to apply the oil. Another time I like to apply oil is just throughout the week. I like to mist my hair or my roots first and then oil it, so that the oil is not just sitting on top of dry hair. It's actually sealing in the moisture from the product that I sprayed on it. That's another time that I like to apply horsehair oil, but also to the length of my locks. The purpose of applying it to the roots obviously is to encourage growth and strength, but while the ends of our locks don't grow, we still want that strength. We still want to benefit from the strength of those oils, so we will apply it to our hair to encourage strength and to keep breakage at bay, right? So it's a lightweight oil, so it's not necessarily an oil that you have to worry too much about product buildup. However, regardless of how lightweight a product is, you will get product buildup with any product if you're applying too much and not washing your hair an adequate amount according to how much product you're using. So I would still make sure that you focus on clarifying shampoos when using any hair products. Make sure you're clarifying your hair once a month. But a product like a horsehair leaf growth oil doesn't need to be applied every single day. I actually don't recommend you applying any oil every single day, but you do want to find the perfect balance for you and what you like best, what works best for you, right? So for those of you who are just hopping in, I am going over questions submitted by members of the Healthy Hair Hub, my Healthy Hair Hub. If you want to join the Healthy Hair Hub and get healthy hair tips from me on a regular basis, I text back with you guys. You can text me with your individual hair questions. I text you back. I'm definitely having conversations with my members on a very regular basis. That's also a way to get exclusive deals and discounts for Love Light Locs, my hair brand, KeishaCharmaine.com, of course. So join the Healthy Hair Hub. You can text me at 917-810-3423. Okay, so that's an easy way to access me, right? Oftentimes here on YouTube, it gets overwhelming. I have thousands of videos, so you can leave me a comment and I may never ever see your comment, but if you text me, I'll definitely get back to you ASAP, right? I'll get back to you that same day, most likely. All right, so thank you, Kaya, for your questions. So again, for those of you who are just hopping in, you can rewind the video to catch anything that you may have missed. This is a live video, so if you're hopping on now, you can still run it back to see the previous content. But if you're watching this after it's been posted, hey, you know how this goes. All right. So thank you, Kaya, for your questions. My next question comes from Tiffany. Tiffany says, oh wait, before I get to Tiffany, I have a comment here I want to get to. Zen Woman says, I spray every day with distilled water, wash weekly, saturate with the oil after fresh wash and conditioner. That's great. I'm glad you have a regimen that you know works great for you. Perfect. All right, Tiffany says, stress and diet's relation to hair health. Okay, so I know we're often told, manage your stress, have a good clean diet, but why? Why? I mean, of course, there's tons of reasons why. Healthy diet and managed stress levels do keep us generally healthy, just in a general sense, right? But we're talking about healthy hair, right? So as far as healthy hair goes, consider that when it comes to so many health conditions and autoimmune diseases and things like that, very often hair loss and hair thinning and hair breakage is one of the first symptoms. Is one of the first symptoms. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but that's something I've noticed when it comes to like different types of autoimmune conditions. Hair loss tends to be one of the most, one of the first symptoms, and it's one of the most common symptoms of amongst the diseases. So why is that? It's because it's very closely linked to stress, which stress is the is often the number one cause of different health concerns, and that goes hand in hand with your diet and your lifestyle in that way, because the different foods that we eat really do dictate our moods, and they help us or hurt us in our navigating our day-to-day stressors. So keep that in mind when it comes to going through any types of illnesses and concerns like that. Hair loss, the health of your hair is very often an indication of the state of your body. So keep that in mind. If you need some help with stress management, I definitely recommend meditation, even if that just means doing a guided meditation. There's here on YouTube, there are tons of guided meditations you can refer to. Of course, you don't need a guide. You can meditate on your own. You can meditate solo. One of my favorite ways is to chant in my head, so and that way I don't drift off in thoughts, like random thoughts, or what I'm cooking for dinner tonight. Like I don't drift off as much when I'm chanting. Also, just making sure that I'm getting adequate sleep. That's a great way to manage stress. Exercise. When I notice a significant, obvious, clear difference when in my mood and how I'm able to manage stress when I am more active versus when I'm not active, when I'm more sedentary, I can clear as day see the difference. So definitely stay active. Make sure that you are all exercising and being mindful. Those are really simple ways that you can manage your stress, but also just being really intentional about eating well. The more you're conscious of the food that you eat, you can observe the correlation, because I know I can, when I'm eating fried foods for breakfast versus when I'm eating like a healthy fruit-filled breakfast, I can see the difference in my mood throughout the day, and that all plays a role in our stress management and our overall health, which in turn will determine our hair health. Zen Woman says, when I'm dehydrated, my locks will tell me because they will be crispy and dry. I have lupus. Yes, I love meditation, practicing Buddhist. Awesome, Zen Woman. I'm glad that you are on point with your mind-body connection here. And I'm hoping that you're managing your lupus very, very well. I'm hoping that you're really well. Wonderfully Made says, oh my God, how you been, girl? My locks are starting to break. I shower without a cap like you taught me years ago. Yes, getting the residual moisture from showering with a shower cap. That's an easy way to get some additional moisture to your hair. But if you're noticing that your locks are starting to break, you may want to consider what is causing the breakage. Are you styling your hair too often, too tightly? Are you not nourishing your hair? I would highly recommend the horsetail leaf growth oil, which is currently buy one get one free on KeishaCharmaine.com. It's an oil that people use to strengthen their hair. So I highly recommend that, because horsetail is a very powerful herb for hair strengthening because it's high in silica. So I definitely would recommend that. But Let me know if you know what is causing your hair to start to break. Is it breaking at the root? Is it breaking towards the ends? Let me know, because my tips for you will vary depending on that. And Felicia Mason says, how often should I trim my ends? My sister, you don't need to trim your ends on a regimen. I would recommend that you trim your ends as needed. So if you notice that your hair is starting to break, maybe you have a thin weak spot, then go ahead and trim it. But there's no need for you to go ahead and trim, like, you know, go for a general all across trim. That's not necessary. You could just do that if you want to, but you don't have to do that. Just, again, just trim as needed. All right. So again, thank you for your questions, ladies in the chat. Also, thank you to Tiffany, who's from my text hub, who asked that question about stress and diet and its relation to hair health. So now I'm going to go on to my next question, which is from Natalie. And Natalie asks if it's okay to stop interlocking and start palm rolling if you feel that the base is thin. So I'm guessing that Natalie is someone who interlocks her new growth, but she's experiencing thinning and wants to stop because it's starting to feel weak at the roots. Thank you, Pray Win, for your is that, it's called a super sticker? I think it's called a super sticker, right? I appreciate your donation. So the answer in short is yes, absolutely. You can definitely go back. Speaking of retwisting and palm rolling and interlocking, I definitely need to do that, but I don't want to do it myself. I think I need to hit up Kafele sometime soon. But yes, absolutely. If you feel like interlocking is not serving your hair anymore, then definitely stop, or at least do it less often. But let's see here. You didn't tell me how often you interlock, Natalie, but my guess would probably be that you are interlocking too frequently and that's causing breakage, but that's not necessarily the case. You could be interlocking not frequently enough, which can also cause breakage. So definitely figure that out if you're interlocking too often or if you're not interlocking often enough. Although more than likely, my guess would probably be that you're doing it too often. When it comes to interlocking, that tends to be the case when it causes breakage at the root. But yes, you can absolutely take a break, take a hiatus from interlocking and start palm rolling, and that'll be perfectly fine for your hair. And actually, I probably would recommend that, because when we interlock our hair tends to be a lot more compact and just naturally appear thinner, versus when we palm roll our hair, it tends to lock and be a bit naturally thicker, if that makes sense. Interlocking makes it more compact, while palm rolling tends to make it a little bit more fluffy. Okay, now let me address some of these comments before I go on to the next question. Thank you again, Natalie, for your question. Nubian Queen B says, when you have a lot of new growth, how often do you retwist? I normally wait over 2 weeks, or just to not put so much tension on my edges. Yes, usually I'll go, I tend to wash my hair every 2 weeks, right? And as of late, I will retwist every other wash. So that's kind of like once a month, but sometimes twice, but it's been leaning towards once a month lately, and that works for me. And if you notice that waiting over 2 weeks works good for you, Nubian, then keep it up. Jonathan Wilson says, no matter how much it grows, it'll start to break off, and I'm like, LOL, need help if you can. Jonathan Wilson, are you moisturizing your hair? Are you, and by moisturizing, I mean, are you applying a water to your hair or a water-based product to your hair? Because my best bet is that you're not. I bet you're not moisturizing your hair. Oftentimes we're told that oiling our hair is moisturizing our hair, but that's not moisture for hair. moisture for hair comes from water or a water-based product. I highly recommend you implement misting your hair on a very regular basis to keep your hair hydrated. Of course, the Love Light and Locs Rose Water Moisturizer is a great option, which is right here. This is what I use to moisturize my hair, and what I like about this is that you don't have to spray it every single day, because this type of product helps your hair retain moisture longer. So that means you don't need to keep using it, because it's doing its job. It's keeping your hair hydrated for a longer period of time, right? So I hope that helps. Next, let me go to some more of these comments. Ava Hawkins says, my hair was thinning in the front. I have started taking collagen and botana oil. Okay, I'm not familiar with botana oil. That's something I like to look up. Thanks for sharing that, Ava, and I hope that that works out for you. Felicia Mason says, can we say all techniques are not good depending on who is doing it? Huh. Can we say all techniques are not good depending on who is doing it? I mean, I guess you mean like some people are not good at doing certain things. Maybe if you're not good at retwisting, then it could be harmful for you. If that's what you mean, then I can't disagree with that. Yeah. If the technique is not being done well, then it's probably not going to serve you. So I'll say that I agree. Mona Whitaker says, is it okay to pull your hair apart instead of cutting it? Oh, you mean like to if you have a weak spot and you just rip it? Well, I first learned about that practice from somebody who was allegedly Rastafarian. I don't want to I'm not 100% sure that they were Rastafarian, but they did absolutely practice some Rastafarian principles, but I don't know if they identify as Rastafarian. But they said that it was against their religion to put a scissors to their hair. So if they did have a piece of hair breaking off, they will just rip it. So that's where I first learned that, and I kind of adopted that practice for a long time, but eventually I just started using scissors because I wanted to. And so yeah, you can absolutely just rip it off if you want. I've done that countless times. Definitely over the years I've done that. If I notice, oh look, it looks really weak, and if it's like weak enough that I can just pull it off, I'll do that. But if it looks like it's gonna come off, but it looks like it'll need a little extra help, I'll go ahead and grab shears. You're welcome, Jonathan Wilson. I hope that you start to implement that that moisturizing, because you'll notice a difference in your hair texture, as well as if you try to start using conditioner. Maybe you don't use conditioner in your hair. So the next question from my Healthy Hair Hub comes from Paula. So let me, for those of you who are just joining, again, I'm going over questions from members of my Healthy Hair Hub. My Healthy Hair Hub is my text group where I send hair advice regularly. You all have access to me. You can text me whenever, and I text back. We have full conversations. So if you want to, that's the best way to speak to me personally about your own individual concern, whether it be about your hair or about products and things like that. That's a great way to talk to me. So if you want to join my hair hub, you also get exclusive deals and discounts and things like that, as well as hair inspo and hair info. Inspo and info. That's cute. I like that. Text me. My number is 917-810-3423. Again, that's 917-810-3423. Text me, and that's that. All right. So Paula from the Hair Hub says, what do you do about thin edges? Okay, so that's a lot. There's a lot to that. You're welcome, Nubian Queen. And thank you, Felicia Mason. All right. So when it comes to the thin edges, we want to first address, why are they thin? Why are they thin? Oftentimes they're thin because maybe we are styling our hair too tightly, too frequently. So we want to reduce the tightness of our styles and the frequency of our styles, right? Another reason why our edges may be thin is because of poor bedtime maintenance. Maybe we're sleeping on cotton pillowcases. The cotton pillowcases are stripping the moisture out of our hairline, causing it to thin out and dry out and break off. So that's another possibility. Another possibility for why your hairline is thin, it could be you may be deficient in some nutrients. Sometimes women will lose their hairlines after childbirth, and that's because of their hormones re-regulating. Oftentimes their hair loss is a result, and is very often at the hairline. What other reasons? Those are the main reasons that come to mind as far as our hairline. And but I think the most often the culprit is tight styling too frequently, right? So let's first start by stopping that, reducing that, Take it easy with the retwists, and take it easy with the ponytails and the braids and that type of thing, right? And something that you can do to help to nourish your hair back to health is by using scalp nourishing growth oils. Now for the hairline in particular, I recommend the Emu Oil Growth Drops by Light Locs. I'm gonna grab that right now. Ooh, that's right here. The Emu Oil Growth Drops. We have incredible reviews. It's very lightweight, so you don't have to worry about clogging your pores, clogging your follicles with it. It's very lightweight, and that also helps it to penetrate. It's a very penetrating oil, and definitely check out the reviews. They speak for themselves. You may have seen a recent video of mine where I show my client who experienced COVID-related hair loss, and the main ingredient that she used to get her hair back to about 70% fuller is the Emu Oil Growth Drops. So she still has some ways to go. She's been using the product for a little over 2 months, or almost 3 months. So she still has some ways to go because of how drastic her bald spot is. It was about this big, but now it's about 70% smaller. Now it's about this big. So definitely stay tuned and keep up with her journey to see her hair progress. But the Emu Oil Growth Drops is my best recommendation for targeted hair growth, such as the hairline. Aaron says, what about thinning hair for a guy in his mid-20s? No hope for me, huh? Absolutely not true. Absolutely not true, Aaron. I actually have a client who's in his 20s who was dealing with thinning at this part of his hair, and he believes that his thinning was caused by his stress. So he started to work on his stress management, but he also uses the horsetail leaf growth oil, which is right here. And this oil is also, or not also, but this oil is buy one get one free for the remainder of the month. So definitely get this while you can. But if Aaron, if you join my text hub, or if you reach out to me on Instagram, I can show you his before and after pictures, as he's been using the products for the past few months, several months at this point. His hair is I don't believe he has hair on the sides of his head. I think it's only on the top, but that's where he was experiencing thinning. In this area, it grew back about, I want to say 80%. He still has a way to go, but he's almost there, and he's a lot more confident with it now. So he's even got to the point where he colored his hair, like now it's like a caramel brown, so he's feeling himself. But yeah, the product helps for men too. Definitely men, a lot of the times you experience premature hair loss, and what you can do to prevent hair loss is a lot more powerful than what you can do after you're already experiencing the hair loss. So it's really important to be proactive and tackle your hair before it becomes a problem. All right, I'm gonna say that again. Make sure that you are taking care of your hair before it becomes a problem, because men, you are the main ones who deal with hair loss. But you guys are more silent with your suffering, and you don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to suffer at all. Tackle your hair concerns before it really becomes a concern. All right, prevention is better than cure. Lanny says hi. Hi. Nubian Queen B says, are you considering possibly doing a leave-in conditioner? That'd be awesome to go along with your shampoo. I bought it when it was on BOGO and I love it. I'm so glad that you love it. Thank you so much. Well, currently the rosewater moisturizer works as a leave-in. So I'm not sure if I will create a product that is simply a leave-in conditioner versus the rosewater, which is also like a mist, like that you can use. You don't have to use it after you wash your hair. You can use it anytime. But that's something that I'll be considering. Something to pair with the shampoo. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, Nubian Queen. Okay, so Aaron, the number for the hub is 917-810-3423. That's 917-810-3423. 917-810-3423. So you guys can all text me to join. And that's how you can have one-on-one access with me. Of course, you can also book a consultation with me on my website. That's a formal way to get your hair needs met. But if you just want, like, quick hair product recommendation, you can do that by texting me, okay? But if you want a hair consultation with me, I can provide you with a full hair regimen, and also that'll come with like supplementation recommendations, as well as lifestyle change suggestions, right? All right. You're welcome, Queen. I need to re-up on the rosewater. Nubian Queen, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so our next question comes from Anissa from the Healthy Hair Hub, and she says, high porosity locks and easy protective styles. Okay, so she wants some tips for high porosity locks and some recommendations for easy protective styles. All right, so what is high porosity hair? High porosity hair is hair that has a difficult time retaining moisture. Excuse me. So my main recommendation for people who are struggling with retaining moisture in their hair, my main recommendation for you is to use a product that is formulated to hydrate your hair longer, okay? So that is what leave-in conditioners do. That is what the rosewater moisturizer does. It's not just water. The other ingredients help your hair retain the moisture longer. So if you have high porosity hair, that you may find a great benefit from using products such as a leave-in conditioner, such as a rosewater moisturizer, okay? And as far as easy protective hairstyles, my go-to, which is something I'm gonna do really, really soon because it's really hot in New York, rope twists. So I like to do my rope twists using 4 locks at a time. So I'll use 2 and 2 and twist my hair, and that creates jumbo twists. So rope twists, jumbo twists, 2-strand twists, whatever you want to call it. I like those, as well as braids, of course. Those are my favorite, and really the only ones I go to as far as protective styles go. Do I have any other recommendations? Not really. Not really. Yeah. So thank you, Anissa, for your question, and thank you for being a member of the Healthy Hair Hub. Our next question Well, our next set of questions and our last set of questions comes from No Long. I think that's how you pronounce your name. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm very sorry. Please correct me if you're watching this live or if you're watching this recording later on, because you're a member of the Healthy Hair Hub and I want to make sure I'm saying your name correctly. So how often do you retwist? So I'm guessing she means how often do I retwist? And I like to retwist at least once a month. So at most twice a month. So once to twice a month. 1 to 2 times a month, right? And that'll vary. In the hotter months, I tend to wash my hair more often, or at least get it wet more often. And in those scenarios, I will retwist less often. So that's when the once a month comes into play. But when I'm in the cooler months and I'm more into a sleek, you know, maintained, groomed look, I'll do twice a month. All right. Her next question is, how do you get rid of lint without damaging your locks? When it comes to getting rid of lint in your locks, you have to focus on prevention, because once the lint is in there, it's in there. And of course you can try your best to pick at it and pick at it and pick at it with the tweezers, but you are likely going to break away some of your strands in the process of retrieving that lint. So some of the best practices that you can do to prevent lint from building up into your locks is by brushing your hair before you wash your hair. People don't really acknowledge the benefits of brushing your locks. Brushing your locks with a soft boar bristle brush is beneficial, because those boar bristles, even if it's a synthetic boar bristle, but as long as it's still soft, because I know some people are vegan or Rasta and you can't deal with boar bristles, right? Getting a soft bristle brush, it will, when you brush your hair with it, and let me be clear, if you have locks and you are brushing your locks, I do not recommend brushing towards the roots. I only will recommend brushing your mature part, the mature part of your hair, which is most likely the part that experiences lint anyway. So your ends. So I would only brush from like here down. And the boar bristles will capture any lint that's on the surface of your hair. And that's important to do before you wash your hair, because if you have lint sitting on the surface of your hair and then you go ahead and wash your hair, more than likely you're not going to be washing that lint away. What's probably going to happen is you're going to be helping that lint embed into your locks. So that's why it's important to brush your hair prior to washing your hair, so you're not embedding lint into your hair. Another thing you can do is to help to avoid lint from getting on your hair in the first place is by using satin pillowcases, reducing your wear of like woolly fabrics, linty fabrics, and blankets and things like that. So keep that in mind, like your hoodies and things like that. That's where lint most likely comes from in our hair, our clothes, our blankets, our sheets, and environments that we're in. Maybe we're cleaning up and we're not covering our hair. Cover your hair when you clean up. Put on an infinity head wrap, which have been restocked on my site, right? Put your hair in an infinity head wrap or some sort of bonnet or something like that when you're cleaning up, because when you're sweeping and stuff, lint is now airborne, it's in the air, and it could easily get attracted to our hair. Hi Carla, good evening. If you're just joining and you want to catch the live from the beginning, you can rewind, or you can wait till I post it and you can catch it from the start if you are curious. But yes, cover your hair when you're cleaning. Anything you can do to prevent lint is going to be what you should focus on, rather than trying to get rid of lint when it's already in your hair, because it's just really rough and tough. Now, if you're at the point where you feel like you have a little bit too much lint and it's unattractive, you can dye your hair. You can Now, these aren't the most healthiest tips for you, but I'm keep giving you that real. You can dye your hair. You can, I have heard someone tell me that they use a Sharpie and they'll like color the lint. So they have brown locks, they'll color the lint brown so it blends in. If that works for you, if that makes you feel good, go for it, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to feel confident and secure in our hair. So definitely keep that in mind. I have these random bottles of water. Like, I don't have my tumbler, which has my cold water in it. I'm so upset about that. My tumbler is downstairs. So I'm drinking this room temperature water in this hot room, child. But my Butte 8. Aloha from Maui. Awesome. What time is it in Maui right now? All right. Her next question was how often to use emu oil for edges. This is something I a little bit went over earlier. Emu oil, well, in general, oils should not be used every single day, although my oils are very lightweight. Oh, 4:15 p.m. Okay, decent hours. It's getting late over here, and you probably can see that all over my face. But even oils. Okay, so our oils are very lightweight. So although they're lightweight, I still don't recommend that you use them every single day. That's just not necessary. And the ingredients in these oils are strong enough and potent enough that a little goes a long way. And I want you to get your money's worth of these oils, so don't use them every day. You might not even need to use them every other day. Every 2 days might be the sweet spot for you. Definitely, for the best results, I would recommend misting your hair first and then applying the oils. That is a great way to apply the oils and get optimal results. Hello, everybody coming in. Fastway Industry says, I have no idea how I came across this live stream, but you are absolutely beautiful, dude. Always keep your head up. Sending love from South Philly. Thank you, Fastway Industries. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And her last question was, should I be using the emu oil in conjunction with the urban lime oil? And you can if you want to. That's a preference. That's a preference thing. The emu oil growth drops is something that I recommend for spot treatments. So if you have bald spots or thinning spots, or you want to fortify your hairline, your nape and neck, that's something that I would recommend for the emu oil growth drops. But products like the urban lime oil or the horsehair leaf growth oil, which are the bigger bottles. So again, this is the emu oil growth drops. You see that they come in a small dropper bottle versus the horsehair leaf growth oil or the urban lime oil. They come in bigger bottles. I would recommend that you use these like all over as a general hair oil for your scalp and your hair. Aaron says, did you create all these products? I did create all of my products. I did. The only product that I did not create is the this one, the Loc Detox Clarifying Shampoo. But everything else I formulated. I worked with a chemist to create our lock gel, and so on and so forth. Everything else, so the rose waters, the oils. What am I missing? The Loc cologne. Yes, I formulated all the products. Yes. I'm an alchemist, if you didn't know. But yes, that's it for the questions. For those of you joining in and you are serious about your hair goals, I want to let you know that we will be starting a 60-day hair challenge, right? So if you want to hear more about the 60-day challenge, make sure that you join Keisha Charmaine's Healthy Hair Hub for details, all right? It's going to be starting soon. It'll be starting in July, which is around the corner. Definitely text me, all right? Again, my number is 917-810-3423, and I'll give you guys the details of the challenge. And the point of the challenge is that you are guided towards your goals, your hair goals, and I'll be along the journey with you. All right, I'll be there every step of the way, and I'll also be working towards my own goals, and you guys will see my progress. All right, and I'll allow my progress to inspire you all, you know, along your hair goal journey, right? So this is your last opportunity to ask your last questions, right, before I get off of here. I've been on here for 50 minutes, and if you have no more questions, I will get out of here. But yeah, if not, oh, did you like this? This is my brother gave me this. Hey, yeah, yeah. Sam Rail says, thank you so much for hosting this Q&A. You're very welcome. Hi, Emerald. I love your name. I love Emerald. Emerald is such a beautiful shade of green. And a beautiful stone. So if there are no further questions, I know sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to submit your question if you could possibly be typing it in, you know. All right. Carla says, my question, Queen, is how to prevent locks from itching my back. How to prevent locks from itching your back. I would say to wear a t-shirt, maybe. At the end of the day, our hair, you know, we can't really choose the texture of our hair. Our hair texture is probably what is causing the itching or the tickling. But the only thing that I could recommend to avoid that is by covering your skin. So wearing a t-shirt. Yeah. Mohammed Abdul Kareem says, peace, Casey. Do you have any experience with hooded steamers? No, I have never used a hooded steamer. I usually go the bootleg route, the makeshift route, the little ghetto route, and I like to steam my hair in the shower. So one way that you can do that is by well, the one way that I like to do that is by misting my hair prior to getting into the shower, putting on a shower cap, and then the steam from the shower, the heat from the shower helps to generate steam within the shower cap, and that steams the hair. So that's a really ghetto way to do that, okay? All right. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone for joining again. If you want quick access to me, make sure you join the Healthy Hair Hub. Text me again. My number is 917-810-3423. Text me, say what's up. If you text me the word infinity, you can get a free infinity head wrap on your next order. So definitely snap that opportunity if you want it. Hi, Ronaldo. All right, everyone. I hope everyone has a really healthy evening. I didn't mean to say healthy evening. I hope everyone has a really good evening, all right? And I'll get back to you. I'll be back really soon, all right? Last but not least, the horsetail leaf growth oil is still buy one, get one free until the end of the month. So hop on it while you can. The emo oil growth drops have restocked. Hop on it while you can, because when they sell out, they won't be restocking until the next drop, okay? The Loc Detox Clarifying Shampoo is on sale for $22.22. All right, that's about a $15 markdown. So hop on it while you can. That's about it, right? Carl says, do you suggest gel or something because I like to wear my locks down? Or is it from frizz? I think that regardless, your hair is probably gonna tickle you or be itchy if you're using gel or not. I mean, of course I do recommend our gel. Like the Love Light Locs gel is a dope product, of course. But I don't think that's gonna solve your problem as far as like itchiness and tickling of your hair on your back. I think that's just that comes with the territory. Thank you for the compliments. Marie says, what advice can you give me on keeping your hair moisturized without using rose water all the time? So after you mist your hair, after you hydrate your hair, make sure that you're sealing in the moisture with an oil. Seal in the moisture with the oil so that helps it stay hydrated longer. Okay? I hope you're implementing that. All right, now I'm out for real, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Love, light, and locks.